Well, this was an interesting chapter. Alright, so this chapter starts off after Red and Blue had their whatever. Red's back on his way, and he's now going down Cycling Road, and he ends up running into Erica. Well, not her, but her Tangela named Angela the Tangela. And it turns out that Erica is not only the gym leader of Celadon City, but she's also the daughter of the richest family in the city or something like that. And so she has this whole entourage of people, and they're all telling Red to like behave himself and apologize to her or whatever. And even though it was like their fault for having Red fall off his bike and running into them, and there's a whole thing, and he finds out that she's a gym leader, so he challenges her, but she won't do it unless he finds a Pokemon for her. And that Pokemon is an Eevee. And so he goes off to find this Eevee. Having a hard time, he doesn't even know what an Eevee looks like, so he tries to contact Professor Oak. Professor Oak's not home. So then he ends up... it's a little weird. Like, he either ends up contacting Bill, or Bill contacts him, but, like, coincidentally? I don't know. Bill just kind of appears on the screen, and it's just like, oh, okay, whatever. Anyway, so Bill comes to help him, and it's nice to see Bill again, and he's kind of a goofy character to begin with, but he's a really smart guy, so he knows what Eevee looks like, but he doesn't know exactly what Eevee's like. So using Bill's connections, they kind of like send the picture of Eevee to all his friends and all of his colleagues, and ultimately they don't get really too much, but they end up getting a hint of where Eevee might be, and it's in the city, and they've heard that there's been an Eevee that could breathe fire, and they're like, well, I don't know about that, but hey, it's a good start. So they go there, they're looking around, they're not having too much luck, but Bill pulls out like a little, what he calls a doodad, which is basically just the signal thingamabobber, similar to what Green had, but it wasn't, like, to find Mew, but it wasn't a headgear, it was just a little, like, antenna, whatever, satellite thing, whatever, little antenna thing that like tells them where the signals are coming from. So they look around, they're looking for a fire type Pokemon, or a fire type Eevee, and ultimately something shows up, but it's not what they were expecting. Eevee technically shows up, I guess, but this Eevee is special. Eevee's already special. It's a Pokemon that can evolve depending on what kind of catalyst you introduce to it. It can evolve into a fire type, an electric type, a water type, a psychic type, a dark type, a grass, an ice, and a fairy type. I think those are all of them. It could evolve into a bunch of different types of Pokemon. But this Eevee's special. This Eevee in particular is special because it's bouncing back and forth between its Flareon, Vaporeon, and Jolteon, while not actually evolving at all. Like, it's bouncing between those three in its normal form, and they're having a really tough time figuring out what to do about this Eevee. And so they eventually realize that the Eevee's like, I don't know what the like exact science of this is, but like they eventually figure out that Eevee's like knowing what type of Pokemon Red is sending out using like signals in its ear, I guess, and then changing to whatever form, I guess, at this point. Like, technically they're evolutions, but they're not really real evolutions. So I guess I'll just say form. It's changing form to whatever the correct typing it needs to defeat Red. So Red uses Razor Leaf to kind of cover up its ears and ultimately takes it down. They find out that it's got like a weird chip in its ear. And this is obviously not a natural like transformation for Eevee. So Red runs off to the person that he believes is responsible, which might be Erica, because earlier in the chapter she's like training with her bow and arrow or whatever, I guess that's her thing, and one of her like subordinates, I guess. It's like, why did you send this kid off to go find that Eevee? If it's one of our project things, if this gets out through that boy, then what are we gonna do? And obviously they did something. So they obviously messed with Eevee in a big way. Red doesn't look too happy about it, and he's gonna go find out whether it's actually her or not, which clearly at this point it is. But this is an interesting, there's a multitude of things here that I want to talk about. So first of all, are you serious? Another, like, listen, we don't know, well, I don't know. Sorry. I don't know what exactly, Erica's deal is going forward, but I'm getting a really, really, really bad feeling that she is yet another evil gym leader. So, okay, so let's go over the list here. We got Lieutenant Surge. Selling and trading Pokemon. Not trading, but like selling Pokemon. And trading for money, I guess. You got Koga, who is straight up part of Team Rocket. Trying to think if we had any other run-ins. I'm not sure. But we have another gym leader that's like kind of maybe evil? What is this? So I'm gonna break this down maybe. Is the gym leader system not exactly supposed to be a good thing? Like, in every other form of gyms and the Pokemon League, the gym leaders are supposed to be this, like, they're all supposed to be like these, like, role models for people in their towns and cities, and they're tough trainers, and they're supposed to be teachers basically. But in this, it seems like they're not. In this, it seems like they're complete opposite. They're just people that kind of hold titles, and then they hand out badges to people that challenge them. And I'm wondering exactly who appoints these people. Do they come across as nice to get to the gym leader status, and then they're just like mean people, or what? But yeah, so we'll cross that bridge with Erica when we get there, because I don't know. Maybe she's not actually evil, and maybe this is just a big misunderstanding, but I don't know. The most interesting part, though, is Eevee itself. This is not, like, an ordinary thing that, like, Eevee is jumping back and forth between Flareon, Vaporeon, and Jolteon, and then its, like, base form is just itself. Like, this is not a normal thing. Is it the chip in its ear that's making it do this, and then it can't do that without the chip in its ear? Or is it, like, the chip in its ear is just, like, helping it understand which Pokemon it's up against, and then it makes that conscious decision with whatever bioengineering it's going under. It's just a very, very cool, like, here is the thing. So Red now has Eevee. He hasn't actually caught it, I don't think, yet, but I have a feeling he will catch it. Is this something that he can use to his advantage? Like, I don't know what the ramifications of this. Maybe Eevee's hurt every time it does it. Maybe it's, like, freaks it out or whatever. But, like, what if? So Red catches it. Let's say Red catches it. Does he then have basically 4, I guess, technically, Pokemon like, in one? Is that something that he can be like, okay, well, I'm going up against Erica now, so I'm going to have Eevee use Flareon as its form for that battle. And then, you go up against, I don't know, later on in Blaine, if he goes up against Blaine, then he uses Vaporeon. But, like, is this something that he'll have control over, or Eevee will have control over, or is this something that, like, later on, it's just like, it's an Eevee, and then he needs to make that choice later on, and Eevee's bio whatever kind of settles down, and it just becomes a regular Eevee? I guess we'll find out. But it's a whole thing. It's another situation in this manga where it's like, people are, like, really fucking with these Pokemon. Like seriously, they are hurting these Pokemon to experiment on them and changing their chemical makeup, their biological makeup, and It's not good. It's not good. So what is the deal? Red's not gonna like this. Red's not gonna be happy about this one bit. So I'm also kind of not happy about this. If he wasn't happy about Mewtwo, he's not gonna be happy about this Eevee either. So I'm really interested to see where this goes. But yeah, those are my thoughts on this chapter. The plot is starting to move again. The last chapter was a little bit more of not a filler, but it was just basically kind of like it was a downtime chapter. This chapter is starting to ramp some stuff up again, and I'm really interested to see where it goes. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and remember to leave a like if you enjoyed this video. And remember to subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you guys in another video. Bye-bye.